How are we today? Just doing our weekly readings. This week we are doing the monthly readings. So, looking ahead at March and what is in store for you. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel if you're not already. That way you can stay up to date with all the readings, individual signs throughout the week, all signs on the weekends, and then those shadow work readings once a month on the full moons. Okay, so this week we are using the Earth Wisdom Oracle. I also have here the Yin Yang Oracle and the Lenormand deck I'm using this week. We have the Tanis Lenormand as well. Okay, so Sagittarius. Having a look for Sagittarius. What is going on for our Sagittarius in March 2025? Splitting the month, start, middle, and end. Sagittarius, please. Oh. Sorry, I don't know what that energy is. That's a oh. I'll come back to that. Something at the end of March. Hang on, we'll get there. Can I please have the final card for Sagittarius for the end of March? Okay. Something going on there. I don't know what exactly that is yet. We'll get to it. But at the start of March here, we do have the Heal Thyself energy. Taking the time to make sure that we have completely healed from that thing. It's telling me that thing. You know what thing. One specific thing. So it's obviously a lot of different things for each and every one of you, but it's kind of like the thing that we're still healing from. And it's not about like directly that you haven't healed from this at all, because I feel as though you have confronted this within your own self. But you can kind of see here the figure, the girl dipping her fingers in the water here, but she's leaning back against this tree, and the tree has the tree image on it, which is healing oneself very, very muchly. So it's just kind of like she's just dipping her fingers through and sifting through the emotions a little bit. The emotions is represented by water in a lot of symbology here. The tree obviously symbolizes the needing to really ground yourself and be quite firm and stable, and knowing within your own self that you've got support behind yourself here, that you can support yourself in order to just sift through those emotions. But it feels like it's just the top layer. We're sifting through those emotions, and what we're seeking is the good stuff, and we're allowing the rest of it to just sort of float away a little bit. And I feel like it's time for a lot of us to just sift through our emotions, get back in touch with the good ones, allow some of those other, the feelings of hurt and pain and betrayal and deception and whatever that is for you in your personal situation. Just allowing some of those to just float a little bit further down the river, allowing them to sink to the bottom of the creek bed here. Because those deeper things you need to heal in a different kind of way. Right now, we're just sort of drifting through the surface and just gently playing with our emotions, in the sense of just slowly starting to stir the surface of our emotions to the point where we can start to feel the good stuff again, and we can start to find the good stuff again, and we can actually allow the surface emotions to be the ones that we're consciously looking with, like dealing with, allowing those other emotions to sink a little bit further below the surface. Kind of like, all right, I know you're there. I know you're there. I'll deal with you, bit by bit as I'm ready. That's deeper level stuff. I can do a lot of I feel like that's kind of partly what's happening here is the deeper stuff is now moving on to a subconscious level where the healing with that deeper stuff is subconscious more so. So we're just sticking on the surface level at the moment. That's all that's sort of left for you to really worry about right now. But it's not worry about it in a bad way at all. It's like healing oneself, just in a controlled way, allowing those deeper things to just sink a little bit below the surface, and just trust that your subconscious is still going to be dealing with those things, just indirectly. So it's not going to be a conscious surface concern right now. Okay, so I don't feel like that's anything really to worry about. I feel like this is important because we have the boundaries in the center of the month here. Okay, so you see the figure and the large pillar cross here, standing there guarding that border line, and that's kind of what you've done with yourself. You've created a border, created a boundary between yourself and those deeper level things, and you're like, no, I don't have the time, the mental capacity to deal with those things right now. I understand that they're subconscious things right now, and they need to just stay there for a little bit. I am picking something else up from that boundaries card as well, so I will clarify that for us. See what's going on here. What's going on for Sagittarius in the middle of March with the boundaries energy? You know what? It's kind of saying the same thing. It just wanted me to reword it, I think, for some of you. Okay, because we have the ring. So your relationship with healing yourself. We have the tree there. So I've already mentioned that tree is like yourself, healing yourself. That's your relationship with your own self-growth, your relationship with your own healing, take it the way that you care about yourself and take care of yourself, and you kind of know that this is part of taking care of yourself, is that right now this is too deep for me to dive below the surface and address that face on. I need to allow it to just be a subconscious healing right now. So we also have the emotions card there as well, the moon, the shadow side of self, the healing within our shadow that does need to happen, your relationship with that. I feel like for a lot of you Sagittarius, you have kind of gotten into this habit of being very confrontational with yourself and trying to force yourself to heal and grow faster than you actually are ready for. All right. So it's kind of like it's okay to back off a little bit. It's okay to, understand that sometimes healing does happen on a subconscious level. We don't actually need to consciously face every single little element of those things. It's sometimes it's enough to create that boundary within yourself and say, look, I'm not ready to deal with these things yet. I need these things to, just not be in my conscious on the surface. I'm pushing them below the surface. I'm pushing them to my subconscious. Hey, universe, can you take care of that for a while for me? Thanks. Moving right along. Okay. I feel like even, because we do see in that card, the cross, the spiritual aspect here. So I do feel for a lot of you, there's a prayer in here. There's a prayer in here praying to God, can you please take care of this for me right now? I can't do this right now. Can you take care of that? I will get back to it when I'm able. That is fine. That is totally fine. The universe has got your back here. All right, Saggy. If those emotions are too much, put them below the surface. All right. Now, that very interesting energy, and I feel like it may be linked, but it may be not. It feels like it's just like a big sigh of relief just to finally, learn that you don't actually have to deal with everything right here, right now. I've got to do the best. I've got to be the best. It's okay to push it aside sometimes if you cannot deal. Sometimes that is the best way to take care of yourself. Okay, it is okay. We don't have to constantly be in pursuit of our shadow side. Yes, I revel in the shadow work here on my channel. I love the shadow work videos once a month. I really like to push that with my personal clients and things like that. But it doesn't always, sometimes it hurts you more than helps you if you're not ready. All right. You need to allow it, not force it. And that's just what I'm getting here, is that's why you're needing to create that boundary with yourself, that, look, I'm forcing this too much. You actually need to step back sometimes and allow it to settle, allow it to all sink in a little bit. That's where the subconscious comes in and it does its job, and it goes, do you know what, Sagittarius, you've done such a great job with your shadow work. You've actually healed yourself way more than you've allowed yourself to realize. So have a rest, have a catch-up period. I'll take care of it. A couple of weeks from now, you've been distracted, you get, stuck doing something, you don't take the time to look at your inner world. Bang. You realize, wow, I've grown, I've changed. I didn't realize I was that healed from this. Magic. Okay, sometimes that rest period is exactly what we need for our transformation. There feels like something very magical about this transformation. You kind of saw me at the start of the video. It kind of hit me and I like, whoa. I could like feel energy like blasting me there. It's a very powerful transformation. Clarify this transformation energy for Sagittarius, please. End of March for Sagittarius, please clarify. That's why it hit me so hard, yeah? So we have the scythe. That's why it hit me so hard. That's why that energy hit me so hard, because this hits you out of nowhere. Sudden, unexpected. I'm like, all of a sudden, I start feeling tears in the back of my eyes. So it may be sort of like, whoa, like so sudden and unexpected that it's like emotions. I'm crying. What's going on? It's like a breaking free from the version of yourself that you thought you were. You're much further along than you realize. It's a breaking free. It's like this happy cry of release of, wow, I didn't realize how, it's a harvest, yeah? The scythe is traditionally a card of harvest because, they would use the scythe to cut the wheat so that then the wheat can get taken on to the next stage, which goes to the flour mill and becomes flour, and then it goes to the bread mill and becomes bread. First, we need to harvest the wheat, bundle it up, take it to the factory. So that's what's happening here, is we're harvesting that wheat. We've sown the seeds, we've grown the wheat all within us. Wow, that wheat, it's so tall, it's time, it's ready to harvest it. Cut it all down, cut it all out of your life so that it can move on to the next stage. You can now process that in a different way. We're at a different stage of the process to what you thought you were. But it's like hitting you very suddenly, unexpectedly, that you're much further along than you realized. We do also have the garden coming through there next, followed by the ship. There's that distance, yeah, that you are much further along this journey than you actually thought you were. For a lot of you, this has got to do with social stuff. So if you've been having, you're trying to do some self-work around anything connected to the word social, public, meetings, getting out and spending time with people, going to events, inviting people to things, dating. For some of you here, it can also be the date card. Anywhere out and about in public. So I'm feeling like for some of you, it's like, for some of you, you've been having a lot of anxiety about, things like crowds and things like that. And you've been trying to work on that, about, anxiety when you're out and about in public, in social situations, that sort of stuff. I am picking up on that for some of you. For others of you, it's just about, getting out of the house, because I am picking up on some stuff like, what do we call it? So the anxiety I just mentioned, is it agoraphobia, like the fear of going outside the house? Is that what it's called? I can't remember. But those sorts of things. I'm picking up on some like anxiety, stress related things connected to people around, and it may not even be like, it might be like, and it could be like things like being called into work meetings, like a fear, like it's feeling like a fear of, and all of a sudden you're realizing that, hang on, I'm further along in dealing with that than I thought I was, and I'm actually handling these things much better than I thought I was, and I've been trying to work up to, testing myself by going out into a social situation, and all of a sudden I'm doing that, and I'm like doing much better than I thought I would. I'm like, I've actually advanced much further than I thought I would in that. So for some of you, it does feel like that. But for others of you, it may have to do with like a culling of the friendship circle. Not going to lie. It definitely could be, culling, harvesting the good ones, cutting out the bad ones. Cutting out the bad ones, keeping harvesting those good ones, so that we can realize, this is a journey that it's much better for me. It's good for my higher self. It's part of my transformation. I need to maybe transform, the people I'm giving my energy to, the social energy I'm outputting. All right. So for some of you, it may definitely have to do with that as well. All right, or the alternate as well. Like, oh, maybe I'm not putting enough into. So maybe I need to, just put a little bit more into these people rather than putting it out to 10 people. Maybe I need to focus on just those 2 that I know. They're the ones that are for the best for me, sort of thing. Just some sort of transformation with the way that happens in your life. But clarifying what's going on for Sagittarius throughout March with work, career, and finances. Work, career, and finances for Sagittarius throughout March, please. Well, that is too many. Yeah, so while, like I see on the bottom here, healing inner child, healing your inner child. So we do see the healing aspect coming back through there as well. But just be aware that while we are doing that work, career stuff, we might have some isolation. That's the card of, isolating yourself alone in your own thoughts. So you might be sort of separating yourself from people around you within the workplace. So maybe that's what's transforming a little bit as well, is that we're just, really, cutting out what's not necessary. That realizing that maybe these people maybe aren't my friends if we just happen to work together. So for some of you, you may just be isolating yourself a little bit, in the work circles, because we do have disharmony. This is the disharmony, triggers, and conflict card. So just be aware of that. That's maybe why we are isolating ourselves a little bit at work, specifically with a water sign. We have the water sign coming through here. So I don't feel like this is actually directly involving you. I feel like this is more like you just sort of observing somebody else creating drama, and you're like, that's it. I'm not going near that person because they are just, a trigger for me, that if I get too close to them, it's going to be a conflict. There's going to be some sort of disharmony. So I'm just going to isolate myself from that person altogether, avoid the drama. So I feel like you're just sort of watching, observing this water sign, running around creating gossip rumors. I'm feeling gossip rumors coming up there. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. So they may be a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, but like I said at the beginning there, water is emotions. All right, so they may just be a very easily triggered emotional type person, and they're sort of running around, and because their emotions are heightened, they're running around, and I do feel like they're gossiping, bitching about other people, creating drama where it's not necessary, just in some way, shape, or form. So steer clear of that. What about love and romance for our Sagittarius? Love and romance for Sagittarius during March, please. I've had a lot of people having that card. And you're not going to like it. I'm not going to lie. I don't think you're going to like it. Once again, we are seeing a specific person coming through here. I do have Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, the earth signs energy coming through here. Now, this particular person, and it could be you, and I feel like for some of you, that's part of what we're healing within ourselves, is a pattern of toxicity that we've been bound to in the past. So, being honest with yourself about whether you were the toxic part or both of you were toxic to each other, or, genuinely a lot of, people may have the experience that person was toxic to them. But standing up and really noticing the pattern of that toxicity and how you reacted to that, and how you allowed yourself to stay bound to that pattern with this person. So whether and once again, taking responsibility, self-responsibility, if you were maybe a little bit toxic too. Not gonna lie, we're all guilty of it at some time. Oh my gosh, I saw this reel earlier today, and it was insane. It was hilarious, but it was insane. And it was insane toxicity, all right? And it was this girl that she made a video about, like, oh, this person has gone missing, and the last person, the person that we think might be guilty of, this person going missing, we want to question, and it was her ex, like it was her that had gone missing, and her ex-boyfriend, right? That they were saying, oh, and this is the person we're suspect number one. And she made this video, and she somehow, I don't know how she's done this, but she put it on his TV, right? And then she was outside his window filming him, and like she turned it on through the window. She had it, like, she was obviously a bit psychotic because she had his I don't want to say psychotic, it's probably toxic, right? She had a remote, and she was like, she changed it, put it on, pressed play, turned the volume up to make sure he was on the count to make sure it got his attention. And he's like, you could see him like, what? Like, and he grabbed his phone, and he's like, immediately, and she's like outside the window laughing, like, he's trying to call me. And then she runs off, right? But the hysterical laugh, it was crazy. But I was just like, toxic. Okay, so she was standing up and taking personal responsibility for the fact that she was being just as toxic. Just, this is my ex-boyfriend. I'm just, I'm playing this prank on him. But she knew full well she was being toxic. All right, so she was being part of the problem, creating, exacerbating that toxicity. So personal responsibility where personal responsibility is necessary. Not all of you, of course, but you know who you are. We have the North Node. We have the Cosmic Purpose card. So as horrible as it sounds, it was part of your life purpose to go through that experience, but more so than the actual experience yourself, like that you had, the more so important thing that is part of your purpose here, to learn about yourself and grow and heal on this earth. We have apology and forgiveness. Do you need to apologize this earth sign? Do you need to apologize yourself? For a lot of you, it's going to be offering yourself forgiveness and learning a little bit more about what forgiveness really means to you. And if it is necessary for you to offer forgiveness to somebody else, or ask for forgiveness from somebody else, ask for forgiveness, offer forgiveness to yourself. All right. The issue of forgiveness, it is part of your life purpose here. There is a bigger meaning here. This is a big lesson for you. I hate to break it to you. Like I said, you might not like it, but that's what we have here. I've kind of doing quite a long video for you already, Sagittarius. You're the longest of the week so far, but I really want to sort of see if we can work out who this earth sign is. How will Sagittarius know who this earth sign is, please? It's definitely someone from your past. We have the coffin and the mice there. There was a big sensation of lost or something being taken from you. This has ended. It's over and done with. And you've been trying to start anew, start all over again. This seems to be, part of the last steps to really close the lid on this. Find that closure you've been looking for is forgiveness for yourself, forgiveness for this person. You don't have to actually say that to them or anything like that, of course, but forgiveness is the important key here. Is it forgiveness for self or forgiveness for the earth sign? Bit of both. For a lot of you, it is offering forgiveness to that person, understanding that, just because they were toxic towards you, that behavior is not okay, but understanding why they were toxic may actually help you forgive this person as well. That they've got their own ish. Maybe they've had some toxic stuff, and that's the only way that they know how to be. So you're not offering forgiveness to what they've done. You're offering forgiveness to the situation that you were both put in that led to that toxicity. All right, so that might help a little bit there as well. But that's what we've got for you, Sagittarius. A strong end to March for you this month, and it's coming through in some hard to face stuff, but it's going to be worth it. It's a big transformation. It's cosmic purpose. Okay, it's really going to actually be the final closure you need for a lot of things in your life, and allow you to transform and move on in some big ways here. So work through the pain. I know it's hard sometimes, but you've got this. And make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you all again soon.